The first time I stepped into Millstone High, it felt like walking into a fucking war zone with no gun. January 20, 2025. And the sky was a shitty smear of gray, like God himself had wiped his ass with the clouds and called it a day. Lansing, Michigan, wasn't my turf. Detroit was, where the air stank of burned tires, and every corner had a story of someone getting screwed. Here, it was all polished floors and smug faces, but I swear, the second my boots hit that hallway, it was like a bomb went off in slow motion. No lights, just a goddamn power outage that left the place flickering like some haunted-ass movie set. No big welcome, no whispers of curiosity, just another transfer student chia. That's what they thought, but I could feel the eyes slicing into me, sizing up the kid with the busted backpack and the hoodie that smelled like yesterday's desperation. I wasn't here to play hero, fuck that. I moved with a careful kind of quiet, like someone who'd learned to read the room before ever speaking in it. Because back home, you don't talk unless you're ready to bleed for it. My backpack hung off one shoulder, strap snapped from when some asshole in Detroit yanked it off me during a scrap. My hoodie faded to hell, threads unraveling like my patience. These Millstone pricks strutted around in their shiny-ass Nikes and North Face jackets. Haircuts fresh from a barber who probably charged more than my rent. Me, I was the ghost in the room, the shadow they didn't know what to do with. First period hadn't even started when some dickhead janitor big gut digger attitude shoved a mop in my face and barked, "You don't belong here." Thought I was some trespassing punk. I just stared him down, jaw tight, thinking, motherfucker, I'm here to learn, not scrub your shitty floors. Humiliation burned hotter than a lit cigarette on skin, but I swallowed it. That's what you do when you're the new meat. The halls were a goddamn jumla, kids laughing too loud, slamming lockers like they owned the world. I kept my head low, weaving through the chaos, but it didn't matter. Second period, some bitch-ass teacher with a fake smile snatched my phone cracked screen and all muttering, "Where'd you get this? Huh? Look, stolen, fuck you, lady." That phone was all I had to call Uncle Ray when shit hit the fan. And now it was locked in her desk like evidence. I was cut off, stranded in this hellhole with no lifeline. My chest tightened, fists itching to smash something, but I just sat there, silent. His uncle called it moving invisibularies. Words echo in my skull. Dak in Detroit, staying and seen kept you alive. Here, it made me a fucking target. Lunch was a shit show waiting to happen. I grabbed a tray cold fries. A bruised apleaned found a corner to disappear in. Didn't work. Some rich kid with a Rolex flicked a fry at me, smirking like he'd won a prize. "What's that? Trashbo," he sneered. I didn't flinch, but inside, I was a volcano ready to blow. The bell rang before I could decide if his face was worth the detention. Then, rounding a corner, a pack of jocks big, loud, and dumb as fuck shouldered me into a locker. My elbow slammed metal, pain shooting up my arm like lightning. "Watch it, charity case." One laughed, his voice dripping with venom. I didn't swing, not yet. But I memorized his face, crooked nose, bleached blonde hair. Had regret that. The real kicker came after school. I was halfway to the bus stop, snow slush soaking my boots, when a cop car screeched up. Two officer spigs with badge shopped out, hands on their holsters. "You James Carter," one grunted. I nodded, heart pounding like a jackhammer. "Got a call about a kid matching your description causing trouble." "Trouble? I'd been here 3 hours. Turns out some asshole parents saw my black kid. Hoodie. Alonian called it in. They patted me down, rough as hell. Found nothing but lint and a bus pass. Stay out of trouble. Kid, they warned. Teeling off, I stood there, shaking, the wind cutting through me like a blade. Trouble didn't find me, I was fucking born into it. That night, I crashed at Ray's, the gym's leather stench hitting me like a punch. He didn't ask much, just nodded when I muttered, "School's a shitstorm." I didn't tell him about the cop stop, the phone, the jocks, didn't need to. He saw it in my eyes, fire, the fear. To fight, I was holding back. Millstone wasn't Detroit. but it was a battlefield all the same. I wasn't just the new kid, I was the enemy they didn't know they'd made. And fuck me if I was gonna let them break me before I even started. By day 3 at Millstone High, I was already a fucking punching bag with a pulse. And those rich assholes couldn't wait to take their swings. That first day power outage, the janitor's bullshit, the cop stop had me on edge, like a damn cold snake ready to strike. I'd kept my head down, dodging the jocks who'd slammed me into a locker, and the teacher who jacked my phone. But it was like blood in the water, they smelled weakness. And Ethan Brooks, some cocky football prick with a varsity jacket and a smirk, that screamed I own this shithole, was the shark circling me. It went down in the cafeteria, a goddamn coliseum of nose and sweat, where I was just trying to choke down some cold spaghetti and mind my own fucking business. I'd barely sat down, tray shaking from that morning's run-in with another dickhead who'd accidentally kicked my busted backpack across the hall, when Ethan's voice cut through the chaos like a blade. Yo, what is that? You bring that from home or something? I froze, fork halfway to my mouth, as his posse Mason Reed, a short, wiry bastard with a busket, and Tyler Hayes, all teeth and no brains, closed in. The room tilted, every eye locking on me. And then Ethan lobbed a ketchup packet that exploded across my tray, red splattering my hoodie like fucking war paint. Man's eating like it's the Great Depression, he roared. And the laughter hit me like a tidal wave, sharp, cruel, relentless. My blood boiled, fists curling under the table, but I bit my tongue. Detroit taught me that swinging first gets you dead, not respected. I'd barely sat down, tray shaking from that morning's run-in with another dickhead who'd accidentally kicked my busted backpack across the hall, and Ethan's voice cut through the chaos like a blade. Yo, what is that? You bring that from home or something? I froze, fork halfway to my mouth, as his posse Mason Reed, a short, wiry bastard with a busket, and Tyler Hayes, all teeth and no brains, closed in. The room tilted, every eye locking on me. And then Ethan lobbed a ketchup packet that exploded across my tray, red splattering my hoodie like fucking war paint. Man's eating like it's the Great Depression, he roared. And the laughter hit me like a tidal wave, sharp, cruel, relentless. My blood boiled, fists curling under the table, but I bit my tongue. Detroit taught me that swinging first gets you dead, not respected. Mason wasn't done. He leaned in close, breath stinking of cheap gum, and hissed, "You hear me? Man, you deaf or just slow?" I locked eyes with him just a second and saw the dare, the gleam of a punk who'd never been hit back. The air crackled, my pulse hammering like a goddamn freight train, but I forced it down. Done, I muttered, standing so fast the chair screeched. That's when Tyler stuck out his leg. Fucker timed it perfect, and I went down hard, crashing into a trash can, spaghetti smearing my jeans, the stench of rotting milk choking me. The cafeteria erupted, a chorus of oh shit and cackles, kids filming with their phones like I was some viral punchline. I scrambled up, face burning, and bolted, Ethan's voice chasing me. Run, charity case. It didn't stop there. Later, in science class, I was hunched over my desk, still stinging from the janitor calling me trash, still raw from the cops frisking me like a criminal, when my books hit the floor with a crack, pages ripped, my pencil case smashed open, and no one owned up. The teacher, that same smug bitch who'd taken my phone, didn't even look up, just droned on about atoms while I knelt in the wreckage. I wanted to scream, "Fuck all of you," but I swallowed it, stuffing the mess back together, hands shaking. Then, after school, I found my locker, me one damn sanctuaritifest charity case scrawled in dripping red marker, the ink running down like blood from a fresh cut. I wiped it off with my sleeve, but the stain stay soaking into me, a mark I couldn't scrub out. Every jab, every shove, every laugh was a match struck against my fuse. I'd taken Uncle Ray's advice of invisible, but it was backfiring hard. That night, riding the No. 12 bus home, I pressed my forehead to the icy window, replaying Ethan's smirk, Mason's taunt, Tyler's cheap shot, the brick through Ray's window from day one flashed in my mind. Go back, and now this. I wasn't just the new kid anymore, I was their fucking game. My knuckles whitened. Nails digging into my palms till they bled. They wanted a reaction. They were damn close to getting one. And I wasn't sure I could hold it together much longer. After that shit show of a week at Millstone High, I dragged my ass back to Uncle Ray's gym like a beaten dog limping home. Day one had hit me with a power outage, a janitor's bullshit, and cops treating me like a fucking felon. Then Ethan Brooks and his dickhead crewmason and Tyler turned me into their punching bag, tripping me into trash cans, and smearing charity case on my locker in red ink that stank like blood. My knuckles were raw from clenching, my head a goddamn war drum, and every muscle screamed for payback. But that night, stepping into Ray's place reeking of sweat, leather, and old fights, he felt the air shift. It was my sanctuary. The one spot those Millstone assholes couldn't touch. Until I heard the crash of brick through our window, same as before. But this time it smashed a lamp. Glass exploding like shrapnel across the floor. The note, "Fuck off," to all words that lit a fuse in my chest. Ray was there, wrapping some kid's hands. His scarred knuckles a roadmap of battles I'd never know. He looked up, eyes narrowing at the tension in my jaw. The way I dropped my busted backpack like it weighed a ton. "You all right?" He grunted, voice rough as gravel. "Yeah, just school." I lie. But he saw through that shit in a heartbeat. The brick, the cops, Ethan's ketchup bomb. Ray didn't need details, had lived it. He nodded once, sharp, then jerked his head toward the mats. "Let it out. That's what they're for." I didn't argue. I ripped off my hoodie, still stained from the cafeteria, and stepped on. The pads looming like enemies I could finally hit back. My fists flew, hooks cracking like thunder, jabs sharp as broken glass, each strike a scream I couldn't let out. Ethan's smirk, Mason's taunt, the janitor's sneer, he pounded them into dust. Sweat stinging my eyes, the gym echoing with every brutal thud. But Ray wasn't just some cheerleader. He grabbed the pads, barking orders faster, tighter, pushing me till my lungs burned and my arms shook. Then he stopped, gripping my shoulders, his voice low and deadly. "You're not there to teach anyone a lesson. You're there to graduate, to build something." It hit me like a freight train. I wanted to smash Ethan's face, make Mason need his own teeth. But Ray's words chained me back. Detroit had taught me to survive, dodge bullets, duck fists, but Millstone was a different beast. And I was teetering on the edge of fucking it all up. Then came the kicker. Mid-sparring, as tires screeched outside, some asshole peeling away. Probably the brick thrower. Ray's eyes darkened, sometimes holding back his harder than swinging. "But if someone backs you into a corner, you don't let him walk over you either." I froze, fists trembling, the gym's heat choking me. That brick wasn't random, it was a warning, tied to the go back from day one. And now fuck off. Someone out there wanted me gone, maybe Ethan's crew. Maybe worse. Ray didn't flinch, just handed me a towel. But I saw the flicker in his stare. He knew this was bigger than schoolyard bullshit. I wiped the sweat, tasting salt and rage, and realized holding back wasn't just hard, it was a goddamn war inside me. Millstone was closing in, and Ray was arming me to fight smart. Not wild, but fuck, that fuse was burning shorter by the second. Ray's training kept me sanilated out, head said, fists pounding pads till my knuckles split, but his warning echoed louder. "If someone backs you into a corner, you don't let him walk over you." And that's exactly where Ethan was shoving me. Step by goddamn step. It started in the lunchroom. That cesspool of nose and assholes. Ethan's voice boomed over the crowd. "You from Detroit, right? You bring your bulletproof vest or leave it at home." The jab hit like a sledgehammer, kids snickering, a teacher smirking instead of stepping in. Then he sneered, "He's just another hood story waiting to happen." Loud enough to burn into my skull. My sandwich turned to ash in my mouth, every muscle coaling. But I stared him down, silent. Ray's words chaining my fists. I'd taken a nudge, slamming me into lockers, Mason tripping me into trash, but this felt like a declaration of war. I bolted for the bus stop after school, boots crunching snow, heart racing like a hunted animal, knowing shit was about to explode. Behind the gym, it did. The air was thick, cold wind howling. Graffiti screaming outsider on the wall like a fucking death sentence. I was alone, headphones blasting, when Ethan's voice sliced through "You think you're tough." I yanked an earbud out, turning to see him, Mason, and Tyler closing in. Eyes glinting like wolves. "I act like I want to be left alone," I snapped. Voice low, but Ethan smirked, "You don't get to choose that," and shoved me hard into a dumpster. The metal edge gashed my arm, blood dripping hot and red onto the snow. My vision tunneled Ray's pads to bricks, Ethan's tonsil crashing together. Mason rushed me, swinging a wild punch, but I was done playing victim. I sidestepped, swept his legs, and he hit the pavement with a sickening crack, blood gushing from his nose, staining the slush crimson. Ethan roared, lunging like a goddamn linebacker, aiming to crush me. I slipped under, pivoted, and drove my elbow into his rib snop or rib breaking like drywood. He staggered, gasping, face twisted in shock. "Don't," I growl, fists up, every nerve on fire. Tyler froze, stammering, "Yo, chill, man," as Mason groaned, clutching his face, blood pooling under him. It was over in 12 fucking seconds, shouts erupting, then collapsing into silence. The siren wail in the distance growing louder, closer. My breath steamed in the air, arm throbbing, blood mixing with snow. But I stood tall, unbreakable. Those assholes thought they'd bury me, but I just flipped their whole damn world upside down. Then Mr. Langston rounded the corner, eyes wide, voice shaking. "What's going on here?" Ethan, clutching his side, wheezed. "He jumped us." I spun on him, fury bowling over. "You serious?" "I didn't do nothing, man." Phones flashed from the crowd. Kid's eye didn't even see creeping up, filming the wreckage. My blood, their fear, the siren screamed closer. Ray and blue lights flickering through the lot. I wasn't just the new kid anymore, I was the fucking storm they unleashed. Ray's words rang true. He didn't let them walk over me, but holy shit, the price was coming fast. And I could feel it barreling down like a freight train. That Friday fight, Mason's blood pooling in the snow, Ethan's ribs cracking under my elbow, flipped Millstone High upside down, and the fallout hit like a goddamn tsunami. By Monday, that shit was everywhere. Ethan posted a grainy clip crop just before Mason swung, captioned, "Watch how he moves, that's not normal." And the comments exploded, "Expel him before something worse happens." Worse? Motherfucker, I was the one cornered. My phone still locked in that bitch teacher's desk. Left me blind as rumors roar. I'd stabbed a kid in Detroit, carried a shank, was some juvie escapee. All bullshit, but it stuck like tar. That night, I got home to Ray's. The gym's leather stench drowned by a new Harormi locker at school had been smashed open, books shredded, a knife stabbed into the door with a "Note, you're next." My hands shook, blood pounding in my ears. As I showed Ray, he cursed, "Son of a bitch." Eyes scanning the dark street, where tires had screeched after the last brick smashed our window. This wasn't just Ethan's petty game anymore, it was a fucking vendetta. Kids at school whisper I'd killed someone. Teachers stared like I'd torched the place. And the bus ride home was a gauntlet of glares and his threats. Freak. As some punk spat at my feet, I wiped it off, jaw tight, but inside, I was a volcano ready to blow. Ethan's lies spread like wildfire. His burner account dropped #Millstone. Get them out, and in the video racked up shares. Kids I'd never met calling me psycho. My arm still throbbed from the dumpster gash, a jagged scar forming, but the real wound was deeper every step I took. I felt hunted. Tuesday morning, I found killer scratch into my desk. The wood splintered like someone taken a blade to it. A girl screamed when I passed her locker, like I was some fucking boogeyman. Ray's words slid it out, rang hollow. Now, there was no pad to punch this away. I'd defended myself, and they'd turned me into a goddamn urban legend. The air was poison, thick with fear and hate, and I couldn't breathe. Ethan's crew had lit the match, but the whole school was fanning the flames. Sirens wailed again that night, cops circling our block, probably tipped off by some paranoid asshole. I stood at Ray's window, fists clenched, watching red and blue lights dance. This wasn't over, it was just starting. And fuck me if I knew how to stop it. The room was a sterile cage, fluorescent lights, buzzing like a swarm of pissed-off wasps. The air thick with judgment. Mr. Langston sat there, face grim, flanked by some suit from the school board, and a disciplined prick who looked like head joke on his own tie. Ray was beside me, fists clenched, ready to throw down for me. Langston's voice cut the silence like a blade weave. Had several concerns raised, it's our responsibility to determine whether James Carter poses an ongoing safety threat. Fuck that, he was the one bleeding. Arm still scarred from Ethan's dumpster shove. Ray slammed the table, voice booming. My nephew is not a threat. Hayes trained in self-defense. He tried to walk away. I nodded, chest tight, and spat out. They came after me. I didn't swing first, so what should I have done? Let them beat me. Then the suit dropped to Bombathan's parents claimed I'd threatened to end him. Flashing a forged note in my handwriting, all jagged and fake as hell. My stomach dropped, rage clawing up my throat. Ray snarled. This ain't just about a fight. It's about what you think my nephew is. And he was goddamn right. They saw a black kid from Detroit, quiet and scarred, and pinned every nightmare on me. The board scribbled notes, faces cold. While outside, a fucking mob gathered, parents with signs screaming keep our school safe. Their chants rattling the windows like gunfire. I could hear it, get him out. Each word a punch to the gut. My hands shook. The knife in my locker flashing in my mind. The your next note burning a hole in my sanity. Langston's eyes darted. Uneasy, but he pressed on. We're reviewing all evidence. Ethan's cropped video. The lies about me stabbing kids, they were burying me alive. Ray leaned in, whispering, stay cool, they're scared of you now. But I felt like a cornered animal, claws out, nowhere to run. The hearing dragged, voices blurring into a roar, and when we stepped outside, the crowd surged some asshole through a soda can, sticky shit splashing my jacket. Ray shoved me behind him, yelling, back the fuck off. As security scrambled, my heart pounded. Sirens wailing again, cops circling like vultures. Probably called by the same pricks who'd trashed my life. I was cleared to go. But the decision was pending, a guillotine blade hovering over me. That night, I couldn't sleep, the chants echoing, the forged note haunting me. Millstone wasn't just a school, it was a goddamn execution chamber. And I was fighting for my fucking life. Thursday morning hit like a fucking gut. Contention so thick I could choke on it. The hearing decision was still pending. But the halls were a war zone of whispers and glares. Kids parting like I was a goddamn plague. I barely slept. The chants from that Prost keep our school safe, ringing in my skull. The soda can some prick through still sticky on my jacket. Ray took the day off, his knuckles white as we rolled up to the district office. A gray slab of a building that stank of bureaucracy and bullshit. Inside, the conference room was a pressure cooker, walls bare as a cell. Lights buzzing like a hornet's nest, the air heavy with judgment. Mr. Langston sat there, flanked by the board suit and the discipline asshole. Their eyes drilling into me. Ray was my shield, but I felt naked, exposed. The forged note Ethan's parents cooked up and him burning a hole in my chest. Then Leela fucking Harper walked in, and the room tilted. I knew her, quiet chick from class, always scribbling in a sketchbook, short auburn hair and glasses that made her look like she'd bolt at loud noises. She sat at the table's end, hands trembling, voice shaky but sharp. I saw everything. They cornered him 3-on-1. Mason threw the first punch. James just defended himself. My jaw dropped. Holy shit, she'd been there. Her sketchbook hit the table, pages smeared with dumpster grime, a drawing of me dodging Mason's swing. Ethan lunging, Tyler backing off. It was like a goddamn crime scene sketch, and it lit a spark in my hope. Maybe, or just shock. She kept going. He told them to back off more than once. I saw it all. Her voice cracking as she admitted, I was scared, but that's not a good excuse. The room exploded. Eden's dad, a red-faced bastard in a cheap suit, stormed in, roaring, she's lying for him. Papers flew. Langston's pen froze mid-scribble, and the board suit barked. And you didn't say anything until now. Leela shook her head, eyes wet but fierce. I was scared, and I saw it, guilt eating her alive. Ray gripped my arm, whispering, "She's got balls, kid," but I couldn't breathe. This was my lifeline, but it came with a catch. Ethan's dad lunged. Security hauling him back as he screamed, "You're protecting a thug." The mob outside swelled, chants turning to shout sexpel him. Glass rattling like it'd shatter any second, my heart hammered. The knife in my locker flashing in my mind. The your next promise feeling realer than ever. They dismissed us after 15 minutes of chaos. Langston's face gray. The board muttering about deliberation. Ray and I stumbled into the parking lot, wine slicing through us. My arm scar throbbing like a war wound. She didn't have to do that. I muttered, "Voice hoarse." Ray nodded, "No, but she did." His eyes scanning the street, where tires screech. Another car peeling away, probably the brick-throwing fucker. That night, I found out why Leela paid a price her tires slashed. Snitch carved into her car door. Guilt twisted my gut, stepped into my shitstorm. And now she was bleeding for it. The email came next morning. James Carter is not subject to disciplinary action. He acted in self-defense. Ray slapped it on the fridge, but I knew the war wasn't over, just shifted. Leela had saved my ass, but fuck, the cost was piling up fast. Monday hit like a sledgehammer, whole silent as a graveyard. Kids scattering like I'd pull a goddamn machete. They weren't ignoring him. They were avoiding him. And it stung worse than Ethan's ketchup bomb or Mason tripping me into trash. My arm scar throbbed from the dumpster gash. A jagged reminder, but the real pain was the stares, wide-eyed, terrified. Like I was some urban legend come to life. Ethan, arm in a sling. Held court at lunch. Spinning bullshit dude psycho came at us like it was a movie scene. His table laid it up. Kids nodding. But I saw cracks. Some chick raised an eyebrow, muttering, "But you guys surrounded him, right?" Ethan snapped, "Nah. We were just talking." He flipped out, a lie so flimsy it'd collapse under a sneeze. But no one called it out. I sat alone, tray cold. The silence roaring louder than their laughs ever had. The fallout got uglier. My desk in history was carved with killer splinters digging into my fingers as I sat. A kid bolted when I walked by. Locker slamming like a gunshot, and whispers followed me. Hayes gonna snap again. That night, the No. 12 bus home was a fucking gauntlet. Some punk chucked rocks. Glass cracking as I ducked, a voice yelling, "Freak." Ray's gym was my only refuge, but even there, the air felt heavy. The snitch on Leela slash tires haunting me. Shed saved me, taken a hit. And I couldn't shake the guilt knowing my gouts. Then Miss Curris, my English teacher, cornered me Tuesday. "Hey James. Hold up a sec." Her voice soft but firm. "We're having a student-led assembly tomorrow. A few of us thought maybe you'd consider saying something." I froze like, "Speak in front of the whole school." She nodded. "Only if you want to. People need to hear from you." I walked off, head spinning. The weight of it crushing me. That night, I sat on my floor. 10 shaking over a blank page. The brick threats, "Fuck off," and Ethan's lies swirling. I scribbled one line, "I didn't ask to be here, but in not going anywhere," and tossed it. Wednesday. The auditorium was a fucking coliseum, lights dim, kids restless, teachers looming like guards. My name echoed, and I stepped up, mic screeching. No script, just raw fucking truth. I've been called a lot of things since I got here. Quiet, weird, dangerous. Didn't come here to fight anybody. I came here to finish high school. The room went dead. My voice shaking, then stealing. If the only story you know about me is the one someone else told, then you never knew me at all. Don't be so quick to label people. A heckler yelled, "Freak," and my gut clenched, but then a clap broke through. Then another, swelling into a roar, not wild, but real as fuck. I stepped back. My clicking off, sweat dripping, heart pounding. Ethan glared from the crowd, his bullshit crumbling. But the bus ride home was hell. Rock smashing windows again. A shard nicking my cheek, blood warm on my skin. I'd spoken. Cracked something open, but fuck, the fight wasn't over. It was just louder now. The semester's last bell rang, and Millstone High erupted into chaos. But I was still standing in the ashes of a fucking war I never asked for. I lingered by my locker, Halls flooding with kids screaming about winter break. That I felt like a ghost in a riot. Ethan's lies had fatted his sling off. His table quieter, but the scar stayed killer etched into my desk. Rocks shattering my bus windows. Blood on my cheek from the last attack. Ray's Voseu, don't let them walk over yo had carried me. But now he dropped truth that hit like a brick when you defend yourself and win. People see strength, and strength scares the weak. I muttered, Vos Ra. I didn't even go hard. I held back, and he nodded. I know you did. But they don't care. That night, another brick crashed through our window, leaf or D-glass exploding. A shard slicing Ray's arm as he cursed. Motherfuckers. Cops circled again. Lights flashing, but no arrests, just a promise of more hell. Then this kid scrawny, bruised, eyes wide stopped me in the courtyard. You really trained to fight? He stammered, voice shaking. I shrugged. I trained to stay ready. It's not about hurting people, but he pressed. Can you teach me? My gut twisted yak. After all this shit. You sure you want to learn? I asked, and he nodded, desperate. I just don't want to be scared anymore. I froze. The weight of it slamming Maray's gym, the pads, the vital rushing back. All right then, I said, voice steady. First lesson, stand tall. Even when it feels easier to shrink, we walked toward the gate. His shoulders squaring, but sirens wailed again closer. Angrier cops rolling up, eyeing us like we'd torched the place. A teacher intervened, barking at a bully mid-taunt, a flicker of change. But fuck, it felt fragile. That night, Ray slumped on the couch. Blood crusted on his sleeve, replaying an old UFC fight. I dropped my bag. The leave or die note burning in my pocket. Rough day, he asked. And I snorted. People act different now. He killed the TV. Eyes hard, you thought they'd be grateful. I shook my head. No. I just didn't think they'd look at me like I'm dangerous. He leaned in, vo slow. Listen. You exposed something in that bar, and he ain't ready to live with it. I stared at the floor, fists tight. Part of me wished I'd smash Ethan harder. Ended it cleaner. The school was shifting, kids standing up. Teachers stepping in, but it wasn't victory. It was survival. Raw and bloody. With bricks still flying and cops on our ass, I'd proven I belong. But fuck. The cost was a war zone I'd carry forever.